Alright, so that might be better. Is that good? You get out from underneath there, baby. Come on. Alright, so hopefully that sounds better. Hey, away from there. Get out of there. 1 second, you guys. Okay, is that better? Can somebody say something? Anything? Anybody? Anybody? Alright. Okay, so that might be better. Okay. You get up from underneath there, baby. Come on. Alright, that sounds better. Okay. Good? Hey, away from there. Get out of there. 1 second, guys. Is that better? Somebody say something? Anything? Anybody? Anybody? Alright. Okay. So I assume that you guys can hear me. If there's a problem, just let me know in chat if there is, okay? Alright, so we were having problems earlier. Couldn't get it to go. So I was doing it through the old version of the live stream, so I changed it to the new stream way to do things. So I'm actually had to just kind of tweak the settings a bit to get them to actually work. So now that I have you guys, oh my god, like seriously dudes, like I just had one hell of a day trying to get this streaming software that I got just for this to be able to work. So thank God, thank you God for letting it work out. Universe, thank you for delivering what I requested, which is a bonus. It really is. So anyways, I pulled some cards earlier, and I had pulled the Magician card, the Five of Wands in reverse, and I pulled the Hierophant in reverse. And we're dealing with Leo energy, and the moon is actually in Leo, so that makes sense as to why the present is kind of feeling like we're having challenges come forward. We're maybe in, taking that want to take that leap now, just pounce on everything, just want to move forward. My nose is getting itchy. My intuition's kicking in, guys. Oh, I hate that when that happens. Anyways, so all said and done, I'm doing good. I'm really excited about today and having a good day. So we're going to get in the zone. And anyway, so I had pulled those cards, and it was, and then I ended up pulling a card for myself, because I don't usually do readings for myself. And it was kind of odd. It really was. Okay. So what happened was, I've been having, certain things going on the last, I don't know, month and a half, I guess it would be. And what card was it that I ended up pulling? It was the Five of Cups. That's what it was. The Five of Cups is what I pulled. And I had asked, when I was thinking about it, when I was drawing the card, I was thinking about what is the one thing that I haven't been, acknowledging or recognizing that's been going on for me that I've just kind of overlooked and not really paid too much attention to. So that's what I was thinking about when I was shuffling the cards, and out popped the Five of Wands. So my focus has to be on, getting over the regrets that I have in my life, getting over the regrets, the disappointments, and just allowing myself to be accepting of failure, allow things that allow me to realize that I'm not perfect. I'm gonna have mistakes, and not be so hard on myself when those mistakes happen, right? And I've been really anal. Like, I get really anal if things aren't done right. Like if my house is a mess, or things are out of order, or in disarray, not organized. I get stuck in a rut if, things aren't organized and things aren't kept when you're, you have a partnership, or you have roommates, or you have a friend living with you, whatever it may be. If they aren't doing their part to keep it clean, and, you're continually going and picking up after them and doing stuff like that, you get kind of complacent with that. You start getting lazy because you get tired of doing it, right? And then you get complacent, and then you start falling into that same rut, right? So, and I have been like I've been fooling myself thinking that I'm not, when I know, when I'm not on autopilot, that I'm doing that. Like I know that it's there, and I know I got in the habit, and it's like, oh really, like you just hate to be wrong, right? Like you just hate for the fact of things coming out and shining the light on them. So yeah, and the energy surrounding that is Scorpio, and I'm dealing with the Scorpio right now. Taking on some of those traits of that Scorpio that I'm dealing with. And so it was a realization that I need to start checking back in regular with myself, and aspects that if I'm not doing them, everybody else feels they shouldn't have to, right? So kind of hypocritical. Well, if you're not going to do it, I'm not going to bother either, because there's no point in one person carrying all the weight and the other person doesn't. You know what I mean? So, hey, get off there! Get out of there! 1 second, guys. This is what I mean. I left my plate on the table. 1 second. And the cat got into it now. Get down. Get down. Off the table. Yes. No, yes. Little baby. Little baby. Alright, you can't go on tables. You know better. It's a bad boy. Alright, so now that we're back and we're live, we're doing well. I got this on the lock. Okay. So it was kind of interesting to do that, because I don't usually pull cards for myself. I don't like reflecting lately. I don't know why that is, but I've got to start doing that for myself again, and start pulling the cards so that I know what's going on and what I need to focus on. So yeah, so things are going well otherwise. So the overall message earlier was basically that, take those challenges. If you're you're feeling like you're being challenged and you're too fearful to take the flight card, take that leap of faith, or, just go with the flow. Don't let yourself kind of, what was it? Hang on 1 sec here. I can't even remember what the first one was. We had the, Magician card, that's right. So the manifestations, you might be feeling that you have all the tools in front of you, but you're not sure sometimes what tool to use, or what approach to take, but finding that challenge, and just taking the challenge head on, and just go after it. You're never going to know until you actually do it, right? When you're manifesting. And sometimes our manifestations, we get distracted when we're doing them, or we have a thought pop into our head that kind of puts a ripple into our manifestation. You can iron it back out, just rethink it out, and be aware of it. I know when I sometimes manifest and I'm like got a lot going on up here, that's causes for a lot of like cross communication for my manifestation. So I'll receive like, not the result that I'm wanting, because I wasn't really focusing hard on what I really was desiring when I was doing that manifestation or desire, right? So I'm learning that I have to get back to doing the meditation, having a calm mind, having a clear mind, not having, everything throughout the day coming in, and then it kind of repeats itself when I'm manifesting. It'll come back and play again, right? So I have to really be aware of that, and keep myself in check when I'm doing that. So just make sure that you're aware. The other thing that I came across was some information, some really cool information. And I didn't even know this myself, right? But I've been wanting to get more tools together for myself for doing like incantations and stuff for myself, and to be helping others, with, manifestations and stuff, and creating incantations that work to, bring in love, or bring in, what the desired focus that you may have, right? Whether it be a job, whether it be, because I do know that we've had a few viewers that have come to the channel asking about careers, right? So I've been looking into some incantations for manifesting a job, or manifesting, that job interview, or manifesting. Manifesting seems like such a weird word to me, though. Like, developing, manifestation, developing, calling upon your guides to bring that to you, with little ease and effort sometimes. When you've really worked hard at, pounding the pavement, trying to find a different route to take with a different tool maybe, making sure that all your resources are being used and not just being selective as to what resource you want to use because you just don't feel like using anything else. And when you're getting hopeless, it's time to pull out the sword or pull out the wand or pull out, your tools that you've been given or that you've been taught. You can have a mentor or you can have anybody be your teacher. It's how you're being taught and how you receive the teaching that they're giving. And sometimes you're not going to connect with people that are teachers or that are, sharing their wisdom or sharing experiences, because their result is different than what yours will be, because we all have different energy. We all think it differently. We don't think the same. We have generalized thinking the same, but our true intentions, our feelings and emotions affect each thing differently, right? So we always have to be aware of that and, take what you need. Like they always say in the readings, take what you need and leave the rest behind. If some of it's not working, take what you need and try to build something that you can work with to get, the desired result that you're wanting, right? The other thing is talking about transitions, and I've noticed this and I've put this theory to test for myself, so I'm just going to share this with you guys. Maybe look into it yourself. Maybe it's something that you might want to understand a little bit better. But I was looking at my oh, these kittens are going to drive me crazy. I was looking at my moon transition chart, and I noticed that we've been having really quick transitions going on. Like our moon cycle was going into, we just came out of Cancer, a 3-day Cancer cycle, and now we're in a 2-day Leo cycle, and then we're going into for today and tomorrow, and then Sunday and Monday we're in a 2-day Virgo cycle, and then we're in a 3-day Libra cycle, and then we are in a 2-day, I think it is, a 2-day Scorpio cycle, Friday and Saturday. So it goes Friday, Saturday, today and tomorrow we're in Leo. Sunday, Monday we're in Virgo, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we're in Libra, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is Libra, and then Friday, Saturday we're in Scorpio. So if you're finding that your energy is shifting a lot, or that things are just kind of different, really changing, in your head, like you go to sleep feeling one way and you're waking up a different way, it could be due to that transition that's happened overnight, or the transformation from energy from, one kind of energy field to another. So if you're finding that, you've had a day where you've gone to bed feeling one way, you wake up just kind of like just totally misconstrued it the next day, look and, or, I'll try to update everybody as we go into transitions, or I'll try to at least give you a week of the transition, so you can kind of better gauge your energy. Because I do find that if I'm in a, say, a Taurus mood, I'm very stubborn, I'm very stick in the mud, I'm really reluctant to do things, and that's that Taurus energy coming through and kind of putting its energy into me and developing it, right? So if you're having that feeling, then that could be the cause of it. So just be aware of that. And I've found that it's been like that for me. So I'm just checking on chat here because I dropped my phone here. Savannah Ross, we're going to do questions in a little bit. I'm just kind of sharing a little bit with you guys instead of doing readings all the time, because I'm getting you guys repeatedly coming back and asking questions. If it's not related to what I'm discussing right at that moment, if you can wait until reading time, which will be a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes from now, we'll start getting into maybe doing some personal readings. But I do know that you've had readings done here. You've had your free time here to get a reading. If it's a generalized question about something you need to know or are wondering about, I'm not going to be doing a reading for you. But if you have a question that I can answer without having to pull any cards for you, I'd be happy to answer it. But if you're requiring cards, you're going to have to book an appointment. Okay? And that's just, or else you can go and find another viewer or another YouTube tarot card reader that's willing to give you the free readings, on a regular basis, right? And that's just being fair to others that are new to the channel. Like we have other people, like there's Emily here that's new. I haven't seen her before. We have Scorp here. We have yourself, Savannah. So we have a few people here that would probably like to have a chance to experience, the skills that I do have and the accuracy and to experience a reading from me, right? So we have to keep the floor open for new viewers and new subscribers. Preferably, they get the priority reference or priority place in line. They've got VIP service, so you just have to be aware of that and be courteous to the other people. Yeah, but there's things there's information that maybe somebody needs out there that is relevant to maybe their journey, or I'm not going to stick to this specifically just for readings. I do it all day long. It's kind of nice to be able to just kind of unwind and just kind of assist on journeys and stuff with information. If I feel that I need to pull a card based on your question, I can pull the card if I feel the need to. But so you can ask a question. Feel free to. Whether I answer it or not, or I'll let you know if I'm going to answer it. You can go ahead and ask a question, and we'll see where we are for time and what's going on. So anyways, back to talking about the moon. It's actually, and this was funny because I checked this out, and then I found out some more information, which is kind of ironic and kind of funny to find this out. But it kind of made my mind start to think about some other things that are going on, personally for me, and so it kind of made me, as far as information that I've kind of been information that I've been kind of investigating and trying on myself and kind of trying to understand or grasp the concept of it, right? So I came up with some different theories, and I'm just going to share them with you guys. But anyways, there was a fun fact to know that I didn't even know this, and this is what I mean. Like I'm doing my shamanistic, learning about my shamanism, my roots, my culture, and this was a fact that I didn't know, right? But back in the many years ago, like back in the ancient times, the moon is actually called a strawberry moon. Now you would probably think, why would they call it a strawberry moon? Well, the history behind it was back when, back in the ancient times, colonial Americans adopted it from the Native Americans, because at that time of year, I'm assuming they didn't have clocks and gauges and everything to be able to tell time like we do today, like modern day, civilization having time and, clocks and, sundials. Maybe back then that's what they used. But I'm thinking that, for them to judge a season, okay, so 4 seasons, so, you think about it, and then to gauge how long a month is. So to think that our month is 30 days, which is the cycle of a moon, okay, 30 days, is one moon cycle. So that's 1 month. Like from one full moon to the next is almost like 30 or 31 days, whatever it may be in between. But that's how you gauge a month, right? The idea of the sun rotating around the earth is a day, 24 hours, right? So then I got into some weird information. I'll share that in a minute. So for them to identify what month it was in, or what time of year it was, like spring, summer, fall, winter, how they would gauge it is based on where the moon was and what was happening around on the earth, on the planet at that time. And what happened, the reason why they call it a strawberry moon is because wild strawberries were actually starting to bloom then. So that was how they could gauge the time frame for, knowing that it was the month of June, right? So they came up with, obviously the Europeans came up with the actual date or the actual name of June for the month of, right? But the cycle was a little bit different. It was a bit off, as it evolved into calendar months and years and all that, right? And then so anyways, another fun fact was it's also known as a rose moon and a hot moon, and the actual moon, that this strawberry moon that we call it in the native culture, which is a new fact for me. That's something that I can share with my kids. It's a fun fact for me because it's part of my culture, and that's where I take a lot of respect from doing my readings and my shamanism and really getting in touch with the spiritual side of things for me. and letting go of the cultural religious thing. There's a big difference, and letting go of those beliefs, because that's not what I was born to be entered into. It was the culture of First Nations, right? So I'm transferring out of the systematic religious beliefs into my own spiritual traditional belief, right? I'm doing my transition. So it's a transition and a half for me. It's quite a wake-up call, but I feel drawn to it. So that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That was what I was called to do, is to return back to my original self that I came down here to do. I just didn't have the situations work in my favor, but that's another story. Circumstantial situations came out of my control once I incarnated into this earth this time. It was out of my control, but maybe that was the reason why. Maybe I was incarnated into that family at that time, and I knew that I was coming back to do it over again. Maybe there was something in my past life culturally that I didn't learn, or that I wanted to become more of, or become greater at. So I come back into this life, but this time around I chose the wrong family. I chose the wrong place to incarnate at that time. It wasn't meant for me to incarnate at that time. So I ended up having to go through my trials and tribulations in life, go through understanding the cultural part thing of racism, and I had a hard time with it. I really had a really hard time with it. Being raised in a white Caucasian family, being First Nations, not knowing anything about my culture, and just losing my identity altogether, right? So when I saw this, I actually didn't even know that we had a very big impact on a lot of things that happened in history, that we don't get recognized for. We don't get enough recognition. It's always First Nations people are this and that, and if a lot of people took notice to exactly how much we have available to us that was based out of the Native Americans of yesterday and today, how much more peaceful it really would have been. It wasn't all about and society hasn't really changed that much. It hasn't really evolved that much, because everybody's still going for the fame. They're still going for the material things. They gotta have the nice car, the nice house, the nice everything. Instead of being simple and carefree and living by their means, instead of being greedy and using up more resources than we need to, it would probably be a very different place, right? So just, and it's very, very emotional for me, because there's a lot of emotion tied to that it's not negative emotion. It's like almost like a sigh of relief, knowing that we still had a place to be, but we weren't allowed to speak. There was that control, that power, that over control of or need to control others, and that's not what it's about. It's not about that. It's to help the other person live to their best. So that's why I do this channel. I try to help everyone that I can, and if I've helped you and you just want to take advantage of the generosity and the compassion that I do have for my job, it won't be just walk all over me and take advantage of the possibility of getting unsurmountable amount of live readings, because it's not happening. So let's get that clear. So there's other people that also need to have things answered for them, that we would like to give the opportunity and open the floor to. So it's very important that we allow others to have an opportunity to have a little bit of insight into their current or personal situations. And I just need to get my water bottle and spray my cats off my curtains. One sec. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. I like my curtains, but I had to hang up a set of curtains that wasn't really, it's not really that nice, but still, they're still curtains, and I don't want them climbing them. They have to learn discipline, behavior modification. with a little water never hurt anybody. You know, they're not going to melt. So it was kind of interesting to find that information out. So I'm wondering, you know, like you see all these videos about, you know, in history about people living till they're like 1,000 years old, or, you know, like living like 100,000 years or something like that. So I was checking something out and I came upon the weirdest information. And what my theory is behind this, and this is a question that sat in my mind after looking at reviewing this and kind of, you know, playing with it and stuff. And I sat here in wonderment. And I was like, I wonder if the age of humans was based on planets rotating around the rotation of a planet to gauge the age of a person by saying they lived longer before there were clocks or time or a way to measure time. You know what I mean? Like, and then the reason why I came up with this is because on this website that I found, my alternate birthday calculations. Okay, so let's imagine this. Okay, so imagine that you have no clock. You have only the moon, the planets, the rotation that you get to see a planet. You learn to identify the planet. You know that it's like Mercury, and you know it rotates around us. They have like a certain cycle, and it takes so long, so many years for a rotation of Mercury to go around, right? So, think about this. Okay, so my results for my calculation. I was born in July 12th. Okay, so my birthday's coming up next month. But in, you know, and I'm only going to ever say this one, 1972. So in Mercury years, a tropical period is 195 years. Mercury years. So I'm wondering if they weren't gauging it on planets that had a long rotation. You know, maybe they weren't able to identify planets that were closer to us. Because currently, if I was to look at this, I'm 195 Mercury years old. So that would be like one rotation, one rotation around the sun, around us, or that would be visible to see, right? So it's a tropical period with one orbit around the sun. Sorry. So I'm 195 years old, Mercury years. So you could go around and joke with people and say, I'm 195. I look pretty fucking good if I'm 195. But then if I was, you know, basing it on Venus's planet, I would only be 77. But I still look good for 77, I think. You know, or, you know, maybe I just feel like I don't want to be 77 anymore and I want to, you know, base it on the planet Mars. Well, how many times has Mars gone around since I've been born? Well, it's gone around 25 times, so I'm 25, you know, in 2019, right? In 2021, it'll be 26 years. So, like, I skipped 2 years. It's almost like I hit a leap year. You know, so it's kind of cool to see that. And it was really bizarre, but it was kind of comical at the same time, right? So I'm just going to pull the chat up here so I can see it a bit closer because I have my other laptop going here so I can see, right? So Valen R. And we have Trash Bag Fashion Lower. Okay, hi. I'm doing good. Have you ever worn an unused bag of garbage? Have you ever worn an unused plastic garbage bag as clothing? As a raincoat, as a slicker, yeah. When I used to do dog racing, when I used to race greyhounds, I used to wear a garbage bag over top of my clothes when it would rain. So yes, to your answer, yes, I have worn a garbage bag on as a piece of clothing, right? But as a single piece of clothing, not just a bag, but I'm sure that you can create one into a piece of clothing. I'm sure of that, like recycling, and you know, I'm sure that you could create something very fabulous with it. You know, because there are different colors of bags, right? So, answer your question, Trash Bag Fashion Lower. No, I haven't worn just a trash bag as a piece of clothing, but I have used a trash bag as a piece of clothing. You know, as a rain slicker. So, I don't know if I should answer that question or if I'm waiting for a response for that, but I guess we'll see what you have to say in return. So yeah, so yes, I have one. So yeah. So Valen R, if you're still here, you can go ahead and ask your question. Feel free to ask. If I happen to see it in chat, I can get to it. But I'm just kind of, you know, just hanging, just relaxing, just doing the stream, and we'll get into maybe some live readings later. But it was weird. Oh, excuse me. I'm yawning already. So if you have a question, feel free to ask. Anything else, go ahead. Why is my phone's not working that well? So we're just going to use the my laptop here. Let's see, what else is there? So yeah, so it's just a little bit of stuff that I was going through and wanted to share with you guys some information. So, oh, excuse me. And then if I change the setting, okay, that I want, one sec here, that I want to change the setting to round numbers to minutes from the date that I was born at 12, say my birth date is 12 midnight. So the round number of seconds I've got in January 23rd of 2020, I will be alive for 1.5 billion seconds later if I was born at 12 midnight on my birthday. It would be 1.5 billion seconds on Thursday, January 23rd, 2020 at 2:40 a.m. I will have been alive for 1.5 billion seconds of living and existing. Isn't that bizarre? Like just actually calculating that. Or, into minutes, it's been 25 million minutes that I've been alive in 2020 at January 23rd, 2020 as well. But if for hours, it's only 420,000 hours that I've been alive as of June 20th, 2020. Or 1920. Probably I was alive back then too. What should I use to destroy the witchcraft? I was born January 5th, 1999. I don't speak English well, but I really feel the last reading you did for me. Bella, I'm glad it did. I hope it resonated with you. January 5th, 1999. Okay, so Valen, you want to know, what was your question, what you should do to destroy witchcraft? Depending on what the witchcraft is, there's different incantations that you can use or different protection spells. It depends on the level of energy that's around you. A way to actually test your energy and what kind of energy, if you're getting a lot of negative energy, the best way to test for energy around you is to light a candle, or like I have a candle here, so I'm just going to hold this up for you guys to see. And you can actually get a lot of information from an actual flame. Okay, so if you look at the flame here, and this has been burning for a little bit now, but it's very calm. It doesn't do a lot of dancing. It's very, very formation. It doesn't have a lot of movement to it, as you can see. If it had a lot of energy, you get a lot of jumping, like you would get just like crazy, like flame and flickering and smoke, right? Because it's just too much energy. So if you go like this and you get a lot of energy, like I'm moving it and moving the energy, it's creating black smoke, right? So that's one way for you to tell if there's actual negative energy forces that are disturbing or being disruptive within you. But if you have it like a candle and you let it burn for a bit, you see what it's like, and just kind of keep an eye on the flame. It'll either really sway, it'll have a lot of movement to it. That means you have a high energy field around you. If you're getting the black smoke, there's usually a meaning of having some darker energy around. But dark energy, it would be hard to tell, explain the vibration. Like you can pick up on residual energy as well. So it all depends on how you know that it's witchcraft. How can you tell if it's witchcraft? It could be just somebody casting an evil eye, being jealous or envious of you, that's sending, their intention towards you, that's disrupting your energy field, right? Because I don't feel that you can really, you can protect yourself from the witchcraft, but to actually know if it's witchcraft, to be able to counteract it, is something that you would have to see in person, to get somebody that can pick it up, like a medium like I am, to pick up on that energy, to find out if it is a dark energy matter, or ask the energy guides or my guides to be able to do a remote viewing, where I would send my energy and connect with you wherever you are, and I'd be able to actually remotely view what is around you and pick up on anything that might be happening within your space. That takes a lot of energy out of me, so I don't do it very often. I get laid out for a couple weeks at a time if I'm not careful, and I don't do the actual preparations that I need necessary for that, and that's not something that I would be doing tonight, a remote viewing. It's not that easy for me to do, just snap my fingers, because even just talking about it, I know from the last time, it laid me out for almost 2 months because I didn't prepare myself properly for it, and it just sucked the life out of me. I didn't know what I was dealing with, and it was one hell of a journey. It was one remote viewing that I wish I would have stayed away from. I didn't know what I was walking into, and I will not walk into if there's witchcraft, especially with a remote viewing. I won't do it because I don't know what I'm walking into, and it doesn't matter how much you protect yourself. If you're walking in blindly to a situation that has black magic involved in it and not being prepared, I'm not bringing forward the dark forces with me to be able to protect me from and kind of build a barrier around me for protection purposes, and that's only it if I feel that there is a need for it. So if you could explain what you've been experiencing as far as somebody putting witchcraft on you. I make sure that I'm always protected when it comes to dealing with people and dark magic. Word for the wise: don't send dark magic here, or it's going to end up rebounding. It's going to end up hitting you tenfold, and it will not be a pleasant one. I'll make sure of it. So just giving you a heads up. Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it, or you might just get tenfold worse of what you sent towards someone, or I'll do it for the sake of protecting somebody from witchcraft, and I will send the energy for whatever that person's done the incantation against you, and I will send it back to them tenfold, and I won't be having it anywhere come near me, right? It will not come and attach itself to me. I will not have any implication in it. I'm leaving that whole experience scot-free. So and you will as well, will rebound it and send it back to wherever it came from. That's for sure. Anybody that thinks that that's bullshit, give me a shot and I will prove differently. You will be utterly amazed. I'll say that much. So we call it here in Colombia like a burial, something to make me break up with my ex and make me suffer. Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. So a separation spell. Let me just go into my file here. Let's see what we can find for you. Removal of evil eye. Okay. Let me see if I've got something that we've got here. Okay. So you've done like prayer and everything. You've tried doing all that stuff. So tell me, what have you actually done? So, and I know what is the best way to approach this for you to give you the best. Because I do have 4 or 5 that would be of assistance to you, but I need a little bit more as to what have you been experiencing as far as that, like breaking up with your ex. That could be just somebody that's cast an evil eye of jealousy on you, sent some wishing. So somebody could have done a wish spell against you. Somebody could have placed a like a curse, like in Colombia. I understand the concept of the levels of black magic that you guys use down there. I've done my homework on it. So don't feel that you're dealing with somebody that is will end up giving you something that will work, but it may take some time, and sometimes you'll have to do it once or twice to build it, like to build up that energy, to make it a really strong force field for something if it's serious dark magic. So someone. She told you this. Okay. Well, see, that doesn't mean just because they told you somebody put black magic on you, she was very specific, it came up that somebody did black magic on you, or they just did a casting of a spell. Like there's different kinds of black magic. And black magic doesn't necessarily mean that it's evil, okay? You can do white magic to cause harm. The intention behind it was to cause you grief, to cause you pain, right? So my first go-to for this is, did this person end up with your ex? Is the other question. Did they do it for their result to end up with this person, to take this person away from you out of jealousy, out of envy, out of greed, out of just negative, miserable life force? You know what I mean? So you have to really be detailed as to telling me what was it. The exact result, like did this person end up with your girlfriend? That is your girlfriend dating someone else that she just all of a sudden started dating? There's outlying, all the factors play into the actual experience, right? So you really have to be detailed. But if you'd like me to do a reading on you for you, I would be happy to do that, and see where you're sitting at now. Just give me a second. Let me just move some things out of the way here. And we will pull some energy cards here and see what's going on for you. I think it was his girlfriend, but they're not together. So what girlfriend? Your girlfriend did the casting of being with this person, or the person that's with your girlfriend now, the partner, the male, is with your girlfriend now? Okay. Just move some things out of the way here and get this done. So what is today's date? Today is what? June 7th. Okay. I just have to keep track here. June 7th. Valen. Okay. We're doing a personal energy reading. Okay. Witchcraft. Because I'm just keeping a little bit of detail so I know that, when we have to revisit this, I can just go back to my notes and know what we did with the last session that we were together. Let's see what's going on for you. What is going on for Valen? What was this? What was the other reader that gave him this black magic? Was that accurate information that he received, or was that false evidence appearing real? Okay. All right. Let's see what's coming up here. Okay. Yeah. All right. You definitely have a problem on your hands. Okay, you definitely do. I have the Three of Pentacles, and I'm going to interpret this differently. I'm going to actually pull out my dark magic cards as well, to get more, and ask the dark forces for some information as well. I do feel that you do have something attached to you. You definitely are showing the negative forces are revealing themselves. 1 second, I just need to grab something else here. Hang on. Okay, so I had to go grab my white candle here. So I do need a white candle for this. Okay, so okay, so I've got my dark magic or dark forces cards here as well with us. I am going to smudge them. So you can get the accurate messages, please, Spirit. Dark forces, can you charge the cards with information messages for the recipient, Valen R, please? Thank you very much, Spirit. Okay. Before I get started, though, I have to have a white candle burning. I didn't have one the last time I did this, so I got really drained the next day. Because I'm not pulling dark forces up for this, just for the fun of it, okay? This is something that, you know, it's not just for fun. It takes a lot of energy out of me. And my intention and focus has to be strictly for that purpose. Give me one sec. Yeah, let's move these cards over here. Just gotta move a couple things out of the way so I have a little bit more table space here. I'm not at my big table tonight, so let's move that out of the way. Okay. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles. So there's definitely some collaborating that went on with this. So I don't think it was just an individual version. I think it was the result of two people. I think there was collaborating going on behind the scenes. You're lucky that this really doesn't have the full meaning. You're lucky that you didn't end up with an actual physical death. With, you know, people doing incantations that they're not aware of what they're drawing on. Could have been a lot worse for you. I know that when somebody has a serious intention to cause harm against someone, they're not really understanding the level and severity that they can actually cause a person to the level of actual death. Okay, so you're lucky that you didn't actually suffer. So you're not going to suffer an actual death from the result of this black magic. But you are going to run into the complications, the struggles, the challenges of it have been one hell of a burden on you that you just feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, okay? So ease your mind, okay? We're going to see what we can do to help you here. So the first thing I want you to do when we finish tonight, or whenever at your earliest convenience, but I want you to start with getting a candle, a white candle, okay? Similar to a pillar candle is the best because you can use it repetitively, or any little candle to start with, okay? But have a white candle around in your home, light it, keep it going. When you're dealing with the white candle itself on its own to start with, manifesting, you know, your power and pulling into, you know, a protection mode, you're going to light your candle. And what I always do is I take the candle and I cup it and I send my intention to the candle and I ask for the protection from spirit, from energies, forces to protect me and guide me in the most purest way possible. When it comes to protection, I always take the energy from the candle and I cup it and I spread it on myself and I envelop myself with the energy from the flame. So it's like you just cup the energy that it's giving off and you bring it towards you and you just it's like you're putting on shampoo or you're putting soap on your body. You do it all over your body, you do it down your legs, you do it all like in a downward motion, so you're pushing it downwards so it protects all of you. You put it over your shoulders, push it down towards your back so it's going behind you and so that anybody looking over your shoulder or that's causing you an evil eye is defended against, so it can't affect you. So you're engaging yourself with the energy from the white purity. Always use a white candle. So that's where you can start. Do that for about 3 to 4 days. Engage in the white candle and use your intention that you want protection and focus on it. So you want this removed, and then let it burn for about 2 or 3 hours after you're finished, just to burn off the residual energy to start working and you know, kind of build that protection for you, okay? Because if you've never done candle work, it'll take a bit of time for things to start manifesting for you. And just focus your intention on the protection. Say that you want, you know, your guides to be able to protect you and start connecting with them for that protection's sake. But there was definitely collaboration going on. You know, there was some seeking of information behind this. So, but I don't think that they were seeking it with the good intention. So, and the end result is what you're facing now. You know, so what I can do on behalf of you, I can ask Spirit right now, Spirit, can you release this person from this pain, from this heartache, from everything that this person is suffering due to the collaboration of others to cause this pain from this person and send it back and cause it to be repaid to them a tenfold, please. Let them have the experience of the harm that they've caused, of the harm that they have caused against Val and R, please. That they be repaid for, the harm they've caused, and allow them to feel what the suffering was like for Val and R, please, at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, energies, and thank you, dark forces. All right. That took a lot of wind out of me. I feel very heavy and very, very hot right here. Very, very hot. And always remember to keep your focus on calmness. Okay, you don't want to feed any of your energy into the experience. You don't want to feed any of your energy into the energy or the dark forces, right? Not saying that you can't work with them, but unless you know what you're doing when you're working with them, or how to protect yourself or work with them and kind of work side by side, not for harm, then I would recommend don't get near it. That's why I did that request on your behalf, so you wouldn't have to experience that. Okay, so you have a white candle as well. So Spirit, can you connect with Valen R and his candle, please, and assist him with feeling your love and your warmth and your protection, to ease his mind, to give him a sense of calmness at this time for him, please, Spirit. I request this with my heart, with my soul, that this person needs your help, needs to have his energy field replenished and protected from harm, please. I'm trying to stay calm because I don't like the fact when people use dark magic against someone else. It gets me pumped, and I can feel Spirit pushing my shoulders down, like, calm down, Karen, calm down. Don't go off the deep end. Don't put your intention into it. Just relax and hold still. Because I get a fire burning inside me, and when I say stuff, when I get to that state of anger, of not so much hatred, but hatred for what the purpose behind it was, my spells actually get very energetically charged, and my throat's hurting. It's coming. I can feel it. It's making its way out to what I'm going to say, and I have to build that energy force up in me for it to be effective. And I am so not impressed. This is not something that someone does to another person to cause them harm. So the harm that you have caused Valen R, you will feel the repercussions and the effect you have caused him tenfold, please. I ask that Spirit provide this to the person that caused harm against Valen, that he may find it ease of mind from this, that he'll be released from this incantation that people have caused against him, that they will be repaid for their harm that they've caused against Valen, that he will be released from this pain, that he will be released from having any experiences anymore or any longer to have to be suffering, that he'll be able to finally move on with his life and be more abundant and be more willing to accept the gift of Spirit for the protection of him, that these people will be paid for what they've done, that they will be experiencing the suffering in return for the suffering they caused Valen. Thank you, Spirit. You may go. And oh, my whole leg just went cold. Like, it came up. I could feel it coming up. The coldness just coming right up. So yeah, so you definitely are going through some pains and trials and tribulations right now. That's relevant in the cards. So I'm going to ask on the dark forces now. I'm going to use my dark forces card, and I'm going to pull the energy now. All right. Dark forces, I want to know more information on how to best help Valen, please. He doesn't need to be suffering due to the misunderstanding of what the people did to him, that weren't aware of the power that they were invoking on, please, Spirit. And we get the messages on the best way to help Valen to alleviate his situation, please. Okay. Yes, they were unaware. They went and pulled on forces that, no person should be pulling on. They went dark and deep with their intention. But I don't feel that it was a one-way street. Like, there wasn't just one person involved. There was, like I said, when they were collaborating, there was intent from both parties to, take what they had further. Almost like a corrupted mind thought. Corrupting the mind of one of the persons that didn't want to. So the forces are going to get reversed. The power card that shows up for me in my dark forces card is willing to release that energy, is willing to back off, is willing to find pleasure more in finding another chore or another challenge to take on, with the request being made of them to go and repay what was done. So they're going to have a little bit of fun with the fact that they get to go and play a little bit stronger now due to what they've done. Yeah, it goes from light to dark. So now the darkness is going to surround because of the result of what they did. So don't feel bad. Yeah, so they're going to be tied together for a very long time in their misery. As above, so below. So now it's going to be flipped. It's time for them to now experience what it's like to be on the other hand of the receiving of dark energy. They are going to remain together. I don't know if you can see that. They're going to be tied together. They're going to have to pay for what they've done. They're going to be bound. Then they can go and seek someone to undo it. I didn't do it with intentions to harm. I just rerouted the energy back to its source, to where it belongs, so that it can be, dealt with that way. And it'll be a little bit harder for them to release it. They won't be able to just, it's going to take a lot more work. They're going to have to seek somebody that's going to be able to have to remove this. But there is going to be some misery that they're going to have to face now as a result of what they've done. Yeah, it could very well have been the part of your girlfriend, a spoiled child. She has, a bad girl side of her that I don't think maybe you had seen. That she's unaware of what she's actually got herself into now. But they're both gonna get a rude awakening as to it. They won't cause them harm. Like, I didn't send it back to cause them harm, but I did want them to feel what it was like. So it will give them a taste of the cruelty that they've caused you, or the heartache or pain that they have implemented against you. And I'm just saying that, Belen, if this is something that, you wanted help with, and it wasn't your intention to be honest about it, it can actually rebound back to you again. So I'm just making you well aware of that. Just giving you a heads up that if your intention is impure, or you want to cause harm against someone, the best way to do that is not to send harm to someone, but ask them to feel the pain that you've gone through. Ask them to have to experience something that they've caused against you. Never do it with intent to harm someone. You don't want to do that. Speaking from words of wise wisdom, causing harm against another person will be your actual. It will cause you so much grief, because it will come back to you, and there won't be anything really anybody can do to lift that except a very experienced medicine person, is what I'm saying. So if you're messing in the black magic to cause harm, or trying to justify, harming someone, you won't get clearance for anything. But lightness is turning into darkness for them. There will be a lot of light being shone. to counteract it. You know, she's not the female part in this equation is not going to be happy. She's going to be very upset. She's going to be very distraught in what's going on. So just be aware of it. Make sure you're doing your protection and ask Spirit to protect you, and ask them to help you release you from this experience, to send it back to the source that it came from. Let them experience it for what they've done to cause harm, that it is now time for them to feel what they've caused, the pain and everything they've caused you as a result of the unfair treatment with bad intentions. So you have to be very pure intention and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Not because you're feeling pain for the breakup, but because you want them to understand that playing with magic, especially dark forces, is not a game for the lighthearted, and not something that, you know, even like Ouija boards and stuff like that, that is like opening portals that you don't know how to close. You know, and when people don't close them, you know, that dark energy has nowhere to go, so it plays. It finds things to do, finds things to disrupt, finds energy fields to disrupt or attach itself to, and kind of, you know, because it only knows what it knows. It only understands that, you know, it's here to do one job. It was called upon this earth to do one job, so it has to find something to do while it's here, when it hasn't been closed or sealed up, right? So I'm going to close the channel for me with the dark force, and I want to say thank you, spirits, for assisting in this reading. You may go now, and I wish that you will be sent back to where you need to be until you need to be used for another time. Thank you, spirit and energies. I'm closing you out. May you not return to this site unless you're called upon by myself again. Thank you very much, spirit. You may go. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just give me a minute after that. I just have to rebalance. So just focus your intentions, Valen, for the next little while. With your intentions that you want to be released from it. And just say that you're not doing it to harm anybody. You're not doing it to cause physical harm to anybody. You want them to have to experience the suffering that they've caused upon you, to teach them not to be able to do that again, for them to have to learn a lesson from using the black magic against you. Alright? Hopefully that will help with you. The best that I can do for now. Let me know how it goes, and we'll be able to gauge how severe this is. But I think for now that will alleviate some of your stress for now. If it does start to come back, or you're feeling a little bit diseased, or you're feeling very heavy, like an energy zap might happen. You might feel like you're just like a dead weight the next day, you know, because it's sucked the life out of you. So now you have to take the time and make sure that you get rest. Make sure that you're eating, you're drinking fluids. Make sure you're recharging yourself with energy, like food. Make sure you're looking after your diet. Make sure you're sleeping properly. You might also want to, at night, ask your guides to alleviate nightmares. Nightmares might happen. You might end up with nightmares or demons coming in your dreams. Pay no heed to them. Don't give them energy within the dream. You know, you may have, because they might be upset that they're having to disengage from you and having to go and now engage with the person that sent them. And they're usually not the type that will go easily, so they like to let you know that they're there. So don't even give them any knowledge. Say, I'm no longer needing you, but you've been asked and you've been requested to go and do a job for me to teach the lesson that was given. And It'll have fun though, because it gets to go and fight other forces, so you're asking the dark energies to fight on your behalf and do what's right, so they can be alleviated from their suffering as well, right? So just be aware of the coming days might be a little bit, rough. I don't feel that you're going to have any demon attacks or anything coming like that on you, but you may have some showing up in your dreams that, are a little bit frightening. A little bit to just remind you that keep your thoughts when you go to sleep, saying that you're going to sleep, that, the dreams that are happening are not real. This is not the reality of things. This is just a dream. And remember and focus and think about something that you can test in your dream, like to know that you're dreaming, that you know that it's not real, and it will alleviate the dream as well. And I heard this from one person, is try to push your hand through something, like try to push on something, right? If your hand goes through it, then you know it's a dream. Like, just, you'll know that things aren't the same, so you'll test things. Like all of a sudden, 1 minute you're in one, say like you're in your apartment, next minute you blink and you're like somewhere else. You know that you're in a dream, because you can't do that. Like, you can't, justify that, right? If it's, what I mean? So you might experience a few little, glitches and everything within that force field. So just be careful of that, and just be aware. So let your candle burn for a little bit. Keep your thoughts right now light and airy. Think about the positive things. Think about, when you're a kid playing soccer and how much fun you had. Think about the positive and reinforce the positive, so you can reinforce that engagement with the positive and the protection, right? You want to engage with the light forces now, right, to protect you. So I think that would be the best way for you to approach this for now. We'll kind of level it. So I do have my email in the description. I will put it into chat here for you. You can communicate with me via email. Let me know how things are going. I'll work on your behalf to see what I can do to help you further. So I will put my email into the chat. I don't have a moderator in the room tonight, but I will put it into chat. You can email me. So there's my email address, Valen. You can email me, keep me updated, so then I can just if I need to send you any other information, if you're finding that things are getting a little bit too hectic, understand that it's adjusting. It has to readjust. So you might experience different things, but don't fear it. It's not going to harm you. If you're doing your protection and you're doing it with good intentions, it won't harm you. It can't harm you. And acknowledge that it's there. Acknowledge that you know it's there. That's the other thing. They like to mess with you when you're least expecting you. Just say that, I know you're there. You can't mess with me anymore. My powers are going to be much stronger than yours. Now that I'm aware of the situation, I'm doing my best, that I don't need to be going through this, that you can go back to where you were asked to, and you can go and do what you need to do, that you were requested of, and that will be fine, right? Yeah, I don't feel so bad now. Okay. Alright, so cheers. Wish you the best. Alright, so I'm not going to do a live stream tonight because I am kind of tired. It is late. It is going on midnight and I want to go to bed here. I do have a long day ahead of me tomorrow again. It is the weekend. I got things that I got to get done. I got my back room I still have to get painted. I haven't done that yet, so I think tomorrow I'll start challenging that one and see if I can't get that going for myself. So yeah, so if there's any other questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer any other questions. If somebody has one that they want answered, it would be perfectly fine with me. Yeah, so just gonna put that down. So yeah, so just think about positive things. Be aware of your thoughts before you go to bed, and just just be aware that tell yourself that you're going into the next thing that you see is going to be a dream, and that's all it is. It's just a dream, right? And you'll learn to train yourself before you go to sleep about those things. You know, I'm to the point where God bless you too, my child. I'm feeling good about the results of that. It's going to be good. So that's the first time you guys have ever seen me do this live on a stream. I don't usually do this kind of work live, but you know, I would like to normally your family's bad luck and financial problems and when they're aware of them, when you know they're willing to accept that they're defeated instead of trying to fight an energy force that, you know, is causing negativity, putting into action. As far as the financial problems, you know, they're having to put a bit of work into it. If you're asking about how to alleviate the stress on it, as far as for money factors, one sec here. There's my resources here. Let me see here. Prosperity. Okay, so you want, okay, so this is what you can do. This is an actual spell, okay? You're going to make 3 wishes requests. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a small bowl with a bit of water in it. You're going to need paper and a pencil, and you're going to put the paper into three separate pieces, and on each piece of paper you're going to write a wish. So the first one could be, I wish that my parents would be alleviated of financial stress. I wish that my parents would be alleviated of the bad luck that they've been, but you have to word it with what you're feeling and what your intention wants to be. Only you can word that for yourself with what your intention wants to be on each 3 of them. So you're going to join the pieces of paper all together. So you're going to fold them all up together 3 times. Only fold. So hang on. I'll get a piece of paper here and show you what I mean here. So you're going to have 3 pieces of paper, and on each piece of paper, and don't rip the paper. Use like fresh pieces of paper, because then you're ripping the power of the energy. So you're going to have 3 pieces of paper of, you know, equal or bigger or smaller size, whatever it is. Or you can cut them, but never rip them. Okay, you can actually cut them, but you can't rip them. And on each piece, you're going to write an individual wish for someone that you care about. So you can do this for your father, you can do this individually for your mother, for your father, or you can do it as a whole. Okay. Join the 3 pieces of paper together. So you're going to put them all in a little pile, and you're going to fold them only 3 times. So 1 fold, 2 fold, 3 fold. Okay. And then you're going to insert the paper into the bowl. So you're going to put the paper inside the bowl of water, so it's in the water. And then you're going to say, may my wishes be fulfilled. 3 magic, 3 spiritual, transit all spiritual. Empty the materials into the garden. So you're going to take this outside and you're going to pour it into the garden. Okay? And always end with a positive thought or positive intentions, and always give thanks to spirit and energy for taking your wishes to be delivered to and manifested in due time, you know, when they are meant to be manifested, that the timing will be, you know, for you. And wait for the results. Okay? This isn't like an overnight fix. It takes time. You may have to do it once or twice to reinforce the wish, but reinforce it the same way every time. Have your intention pure and pure thoughts when you're doing it. You can even have a white candle burning for more energy when you're doing it. And you know, just keep your intentions pure when you're doing it as well. Do it, you know, put some meditation music on that's going to keep your thoughts, your mind is clear, so you're just focusing on what you're doing at that time. Don't let any other thoughts come into effect. Like I said before, it may take focus off of the full intention of what you're asking, right? So, I guess it's kind of like, instead of readings, we're doing spells, incantations. So, give that a shot. I can pull a card and see if we have any information that's coming through the cards, that messages in regards to the financial stresses. And I have a fly flying around now, so there is dark energy around me still. There's negative energy coming around. Flies are a sign of dark energy or negative energy as well. And it just came by twice. So what's going on as far as a time frame? How soon can we see the results for them to have some positive results coming in for them, please, for their financial and bad luck experiences? Oh, my cat's going off now. Moose! Moosey! Enough! It's okay. Come here. Come on. Come on. Up. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come on up. Come on. Come on. Mooch. It's okay. It's okay, Mama. Alright. Okay, so we have, my little girl, she's just being funny. Okay, so we have, 12. Okay, so it's number 12, so it's a 3. So good things are going to come in threes. So like we did the wishes, it was 3. You're going to make 3 wishes. So, doing that, maybe you have to do that 3 times. Doing things in groups of 3 seems to be like a general rule of thumb, things that come in threes. So maybe the experiences will finally close out and they'll start seeing the results coming in after you do this. But you may have to do it a few times to actually reinforce it strongly. So it comes back to the number 3. There was another thing I wanted to check. I wrote down notes on that. One sec, let me just find it. Which book did I write it in? It's probably in my own. Oh, okay. So 3 is growth. So you'll definitely see things growing for them. So I would focus your intention on actually growing that. A picture of them having financial abundance. Picture them having, better days, having, luck shine down on them. Have your positive intentions and send that energy force to them, or your thoughts and intentions of positivity and luck and financial gain. Also in your daily thought, like have a moment just to think about them for the day and pay that energy to them so that they have a little bit of assistance with it. Okay. Oh, I'm thirsty. So yeah, energy, passion, lust, action, adventure, and impulsiveness. So maybe learning, maybe maybe they like to spend their money. That has caused them, being the impulsive spender or impulsive, money that just kind of lets it go. If you have, there's different aspects of, having things flowing, like having too much flow within the household, meaning like maybe look into some feng shui for them. Maybe they're having items in the home that are causing this outflow of money from the home instead of keeping it inside the home. Like they said that water fountains, if having a water source going or flowing within the home is like a little mini fountain that sometimes people have sitting on like their desk or something, or something related to water, flowing. It can actually flow the abundance out so that it'll actually leave faster. That's a feng shui attribute theory. So maybe you want to, kind of look at these kind of things. Look up feng shui. Maybe there's something that's causing this energy field to be present in the home, causing this upheaval, causing it, and they're not aware of the effect that it's having on them. They may not be believers in, the energy field of having of abundance and everything. Maybe they need to have a little bit of awareness around it. Approach it with caution, mind you, because they are your parents. They always know what's best, but sometimes you might know what's best, or have people that can guide you in regards to it, right? So with that, I would say give it even as far as a timeline. It could also be in 3 weeks. It could be 3 months. It could be 3 days, or you might see the results coming through in that time frame, right? So just keep your intentions positive. Always, give them some energy to, kind of have some, signs and symbols popping up for them saying, oh, don't say, oh, I want them to have abundance so they can be more, more financial stress. I want abundance in the sake that they can build their financial stress. So you want, when you make that wish, you want them to be more abundant, not for the sake of being, to put them in more debt, but to actually be able to carry their debt and get rid of it, So you always have to be well aware of how you project your intention. Okay. What else is there? Okay, so we have the impulsiveness. That's what I was saying, right? The impulsive one. Yeah, so the impulsive buyer is very hard. You have to nip that in the bud some way real quick. Frivolous spending, So Ellie, try doing the wish that I said. Try doing the incantation for that. Emailing me or email me or contact me through email. And what I will do is I will email you. I'll type it out and send it to you. And just so you have it on hand. Okay, so you. Oops. There. Okay, so it should be starting up here. Alright, so we should have it. Okay, so there you go. No, I just was going to grab a tea. So I paused it, so it just goes into like a buffer mode. So, don't panic. It'll fix itself when I get back. Usually I have... Oh, tell me if you guys see this, because I want to check this out. I want to test this. So tell me if you see it. Okay. So I don't know if you guys caught that or if it came through for you guys. I got my little champion here. He's sitting with me. I don't know if you guys can catch him over there. I'll see if I can kind of move him into the picture there. You see him? He's a giant orb around him. You see that? There's a giant orb right in the middle of the screen around him. You see that, guys? Can you guys see that orb in the bottom corner of my screen? The size of that? Is that just me? That's not a mark on my camera. Hang on, let me just give it a wipe. Or maybe it was a mark on my camera. That's weird. Whew, trippy. Anyways. You might see a lot of energy floating around. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are seeing it. I see a wolf. Okay, cool. You guys saw it then. Okay, that's what I needed to know. It says I will be back soon. Okay, that worked.
What are you doing, handsome? What are you doing, crazy bird? What are you doing, big boy? You being a big boy? Come on, baby. What are you doing? You're getting into all kinds of trouble over there, aren't you? Silly bird. Silly bird.
Alright, so we're back. Little champ's playing here in the corner here. You can see him. He's jumping everywhere. He feels the energy.
Maybe.
He's being funny boy.
He's being funny boy. Can you see them? Can you see him? He's just sitting here. Hey, baby. Hi, handsome. Hi, handsome. Hi, handsome. Hi, handsome.
Okay, so was there any other questions? So yeah, so isn't that weird? I don't know, that was just really bizarre. It's like orbs are flying everywhere here. I'm seeing them on the screen, but I'm not seeing them anywhere around me, so they're reflecting. They're being recorded. Which is a cool thing. So I'm just going to have a cup of tea, just kind of unwind for the night, you guys. I've had, oh, where's my pen now? Where did I put my pen? There it is. Okay, so we did Ellie today as well. So Ellie. So then I can, you know, kind of visit it on my own time as well and do it. Is there a spell for better communication between a guy and I? Can I ask? What action will indigo take towards me? There's actually a couple that you could probably try. They're white magic spells. Okay, it's a bit longer one. It's kind of a longer one. But to be prepared for this one, you would need a red or pink candle, a red string, and or a piece of cord. And you need like an attractive incense that you would like you know, whether it be like coconut or rose or something that has fragrance, you know, a positive smell, right? And what I can do is I can email it. But then you have to also at the end, when you're finished doing it, you have to actually throw the candle into a lake, a river, or a stream when you're finished doing it. So you have to be able to have access to that or be able to get to one to remove it. The other ones I have. Oh, come here, baby.
Come on, handsome. Come here. Come on, babies. Up here. There you go. You get up here and lay down. There.
Now you're up. Okay, that one's more love. Communication spells. Let me see here. To go through a couple different ones here. Ouch. Hey, stop it. Not that one. So you want communication or you want attraction? That one requires rose petals. Let's see if I have 3 wish spells. Okay. The other one is not so much a communication spell, but to put you more influence into him thinking about you more often, right? And all you need really is a piece of paper, a pen, saucer, a source, a fire source, your perfume, your voice, and your belief in actually it working, right? So your actual belief in magic has to be very strong. You have to truly believe in it for it to work, right? So it's similar to the 3 wish spell, but this one you're actually going to be putting your intentions on the 4 pieces of paper, right? So you're going to have 4 different pieces of paper. You're going to burn 2 of the pieces of paper. You're going to spray them with your perfume, and then you're going to fold them up. You're going to put them into the bowl, like preferably like a metal bowl that you can light it in. Glass bowls aren't recommended because they do crack from the heat. So if you have like a small metal bowl that you can use to do this in, make sure it's clean. Then you're going to take the 4 pieces of paper. You're going to write your wishes on 2 of them. Or you could write the name of the person, what you wish to, happen with this person. And on the other one, you could write the person again and write, you want the result kind of thing to happen, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to burn the 2 pieces. Burn 2 pieces of the paper in the bowl. The other 2 pieces of paper, you're going to put it in the pocket of whatever pant or whatever, jacket that you're wearing.